everybody. So picking up with a little bit of a special information video. I was on vacation last week and I've come home, and in the mail waiting for me were some auction bought items. And so I'm going to do a video about auction fees and what you can find and what you can expect to pay. So for those that are familiar with some of my past videos, you know that at one of my local train shows I was able to pick up, these are the post-war celebration Texas special ABs. I've been looking for a set of passenger cars to go with it, and these passenger cars, for whatever reason, are extremely hard to find, and then you're going to pay a premium for them if you can find them. So I found the 4-pack of Lionel Texas Special passenger cars that included a 1201 David G. Burnett Pullman, a Vistadome J. Pickney Henderson, another Pullman, the Edward Burlington, and the observation car Stephen Austin. They definitely are a striking set of cars. I'm glad I finally have them. But you can, on average, look on eBay now. These cars go for $125 a piece is probably the average price that I saw. You might be able to find individual ones for like 80 or 90, but by the time you factor in shipping and all that, you know, add more money to that price. But average price for a 4-pack brand new in the box like these has always been about $500 or $600 for these 4 cars. A little exuberant. I'm going to go ahead to the next set that I purchased, and I'm going to hold off my thoughts on how to buy at an auction to the end. So let me put the next set on the track and I'll pick up there. Alright, so here is the Burlington set of F3s. So this was the ABA. The B unit was a separate sale item. So you had the power unit, the B unit, and a non-powered unit. And then there was a set of 6 passenger cars. So you had the Burlington silver pouch baggage car, a Burlington silver Gladiola Pullman, a Vistadome silver kettle, all marked Burlington, the silver halter Pullman, another Vistadome, the Silver Dome, and the last car in the set was the observation car, which was a silver veranda. All these cars were new. They definitely are distinctive in the lettering. The Burlington is much larger than the typeface used on the other passenger car, aluminum passenger cars. It's a pretty impressive set. For those who watch the channel, you'll know that I already had the ABA, and mine were never touched, so I don't have any marring or imperfections in the chrome finish. These engines here, the powered and non-powered, are very, very close to mine, just not quite as good, but the B unit shows a little more usage, and if you look at the reflection, you can see there's a little bit of tarnishing or molding on the top of the car, and that's strictly from the oils and being handled. So again, the caution is, if you're going to invest in these chrome cars, make sure you always have a rag or a towel in your hand, or wear gloves when you're putting these on and off the track if you want to protect their value. I'm going to put the next set on. All the first 4 sets, I've watched a lot of auctions online, and these actually came from all 4 sets you'll see tonight all came from the Stout auction house. Their auctions are usually on Thursday mornings. I have been watching Harris auctions as well, but the rule of thumb, and what I'll talk about later, it's the same for both of those. And then I'm going to cover one other thing that I bought from eBay, which was a very rare find, and I'm going to talk prices today, just so you understand how to look for things, and that there is a way still to make these online auctions worthwhile. So let me put the next set of engines on and go from there. Alright, this is a GM locomotive demonstrator set, an ABA. It's got rail sounds, the full computerized soundboard and crew talk, all that stuff. And this was also a Stout auction purchase. And I'll put one more set on that I purchased at Stout. Believe it or not, these are the first 4 things I've ever bought from an online auction. For me, watching the auctions live, I've done plenty of that in the past. I never bought anything, mainly because I just thought the prices being paid by people were ridiculous, and I didn't understand by the time you add the buyer's premium and shipping, why buying from Stout or Harris auctions ever made good sense. But I think I can make a case by the end of this video as to how to do it and make it work. Let me put the final set on. So this is the Williams Girl set with the GG1 engine, with its consist of pastel colored cars. I thought it was a neat find, and I thought I got an excellent price. So let me switch gears a little bit and give you my thoughts on auctions. Okay, so as mentioned, buying from Stout and Harris auctions is, you know, they advertise ahead of time. You have a national audience competing against you. But both of these houses post the catalogs of the sales weeks in advance. So it gives you a chance to look at each item, and if it's something that's rare that you want, yes, you know you're probably going to be in competition, and you might end up paying too much for it. The thing to keep in mind with these auction houses is they have a buyer's premium, which means it's usually 18%. So if you buy something for $100, you're getting billed $118 for that item. And that adds up quick if you're buying a lot of items along those lines. Also, if you buy a lot from a Stout auction, and if you look, I just did 4 sets, and the Williams set and the GM Electro ABA set, those, the shipping did not kill me. I think shipping because they already had their boxes and had their outer boxes. It was just a matter of mailing. So those two things, I think shipping ended up being $25 and $32 for those two items. But the first two sets that I showed, the Texas Special passenger cars and that Burlington set, even though they were both bought on the same auction, they were each boxed separately, which they'll charge you for the box and the packing material. And so that ended up being 2 packages. And by the time they had the shipping fees, those things were both $50 each for shipping to get them home. So those are the things that you have to keep in mind. But how do you succeed in an online auction such as Stout? Well, you look ahead, and each auction is completely unique. You might have one auction that, for instance, has 4 or 5 773s for sale. The auction that I bought, the Williams Girls set, and that was mint in the box, never opened. They actually had 4 of those sets for sale on that auction. And by the time, I usually try to get the 3rd one, because that kind of will tell me what the prices were going for the first 2 and what to expect. And so if you have a quantity of the same item, you can probably hope to get a better deal. Now, it's always that cardinal sin. We never like to talk about money, but when we're talking about these kind of auctions, I think it's good to know how things add up and also prove you can still get a deal. So for instance, the Texas Special passenger cars, if you look on eBay, that set, the four car set on eBay, consistently sells for $600 plus shipping. On the online auction at Stout, well, let me back up a little bit more. I don't watch the auction live. I don't want to get in a bidding war. So basically, when I go through the catalog, I pick my number, the most I want to spend. And that way I can factor in the cost of the buyer's premium and shipping. So I have a set number in my head, what's the most I want to pay for that. So I bid early and don't watch the auctions, and at the end of the auction I see what I won. So in this particular auction, I won the Texas Special passenger car set, and my winning bid was $250 for those 4 cars. And they were brand new in the box, never used, still had the twisty ties around the wheels, all sealed up, never been touched. $250 for that set is, to me, a bargain. Of course, adding the buyer's premium and the shipping, that $250 quickly became $350. If you watched my channel before, you know I had the Burlington ABA set, and mine were absolutely mint, never been touched. In this auction, I bought the ABA set and the 6 passenger cars. Again, going to eBay, you can see that the passenger cars range from $80 to $125 a piece for the Burlington road name. I ended up getting that whole set for $300. Adding the buyer's premium and shipping, the $300 became $400. So that is still cheaper than I could buy the 6 cars by themselves. Now, in my case, we usually have local train shows here, and it's a father-son thing. I take my dad, we go to the show, I put them out on the table. So the ABA set that came with this, and everything was boxed, will go on the table, and I'll probably sell the engine set for $175, and which will most likely mean I will only have paid $175 for $225 for the cars, which is still a big bargain. The EMD set, if you go online, that set's usually $400, the ABA, because it has the crew talk and all the rail sounds. It's a premium set, and it's a nice color scheme. A lot of people like that. That particular set, I don't know, people were snoozing or what the story was. I got that set for $190 with the buyer's premium and the shipping. That got to my house for $235. Still a bargain on those if you plan ahead and don't get caught in a bidding war and forget about those buyer premiums. The GG1 set, again, I said there were 4 of them in that auction. I didn't really do so well on that one. It's just one of those sets that I kind of wanted. And I ended up winning that set for, where is that? $275. So by the time you added the shipping and handling, it was $325. So still a good price, because I think it usually goes from to 400 range, around there. So I was happy with that. But again, the key is planning ahead and don't let it get out of hand. And obviously, if it's an ultra rare item that you must have, then things can get crazy really quick. A lot of that stuff I don't understand. I'm trying to figure out the way I look at the hobby today. Who are these people that are still paying top dollar for these trains? Because it gets expensive really quick. What I'm going to do now, though, is transition away from the Stout auctions. And if you're patient, even on eBay, you can get a deal. Now, again, for those who have stuck with my channel and watched what I've been doing, I'll still ask you, hey, please subscribe and like the videos. It does actually help. But on eBay, I only am buying what I consider to be very rare and uncommon stuff. And I really only want to buy stuff that is C7 plus. If I can get all C8, I'd be ecstatic. But on eBay, there was a gentleman that was selling the 1932 pre-war 550 miniature railroad set. Book value on these sets are usually anywhere from $300 to $500, with the value not really being the figures, but the box itself. This gentleman had this on eBay probably for 6 weeks, and he had started off his asking price, buy it now, was $375. And I kept watching, and he had offered discounts here and there. And over the course of that 6 weeks, the last time he had it listed at $225. And with eBay, if you're watching for a while and there's something you're interested in, there's nothing wrong with you hitting the contact seller button and telling them, hey, I'm interested at this price. And if they want to sell it, they'll email you back and put a buy it now price and update their listing. And so I contacted this gentleman, and I went and offered him $200 for that set, and he accepted it. So for those who aren't familiar with what the 550 set is, this is what it comes, how it comes. So it's a orange box with the lettering on both ends, Lionel miniature figure set. This box is pretty much mint, and the set themselves inside came with 6 figures, and the figures being the conductor, the lady, a baggage handler, the engineer with his oil can, another female passenger, and another conductor person, a porter. So it's a very rare set that you don't see. I am so used to collecting the lead figures in O gauge size, I forgot that the standard gauge pieces were much bigger. And you can see this is a substantial size set. It's going to be one of my prized pieces. I'm very happy to have it. I'll do a little close-up of the guys so you can see what they look like if you ever come across them. Usually the figures, they are on eBay. You can buy them separate sale. I've seen them anywhere from $25 to $55 a piece. But you can collect them any which way you want. But the real money in this particular set is in having the box. So that's my little tutorial on online auctions. I hope you found it helpful. I kind of enjoy it without having to waste a lot of time watching and seeing what things are going for. And of course, at the conclusion of the auctions, I review what everything went for, just to have a value in my head about, hey, what is our stuff really worth? And there's no better way of figuring out what is rare and what people want by looking at the results of these online auctions. So with that, I'm going to call it a night. Thanks for your interest. Again, hit that like button, and please subscribe if you find any of this information helpful. Have a good night.